Hi, I'm Tony, and today we're going to be cooking a pork loin with a balsamic mushroom glaze. First, we're going to start with the pork loin. We've got to remove some of this fat and connective tissue. So we're going to move all of this just by slicing through close to the flesh without cutting into it, and just removing the excess. That we have removed most of the fat and most of the connective tissue. We're going to rub a little bit of olive oil into the meat, about a tablespoon on both sides. So it's coated, and then we're going to salt and pepper it. And when you salt, it's nice to try to get it real even, so you don't have a bunch of clump of salt on one portion of the meat. So you kind of hold your salt up higher over the meat, and it helps it disperse it better. And then we're going to add some pepper. Okay, now I've got a hot pan here. I'm going to throw in just a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. Coat the bottom of the pan. We're going to place our loin in here, and then we're going to sear it on all sides. Okay, so this is our pork loin. As you see, it's browned on this side nicely. I'm browning it on the other side, but it's kind of sticking a little bit. If it sticks like that, it needs to cook just a little bit longer, and it should pull up nicely from the pan. Okay, now the pork has been seared on all sides, even the ends. It's going to go into a baking pan that has some either some slots or a grate so that the juices can come down and the heat can circulate evenly. And it's going to go in the oven at 375 for 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, the pork is done. We got an internal temperature of 160 because I like my pork cooked well. Okay, we're going to let the pork rest for at least 5 minutes so the juices redistribute and don't leak out when I cut it. Okay, so this is what 160 looks like on the inside of the pork, and it's still a little bit pink. Just make sure if you like your pork a little on the rare side, you have it cooked to at least 140 degrees. Okay, I've diced up a large shallot and 2 cups of mushrooms. The shallot is going to go into the pan with about 2 tablespoons of oil. We're going to sweat that out for several minutes until they're clear and translucent. And then I'm going to add the mushrooms. Okay, the recipe calls to add the fennel and the shallots together with the balsamic. But because I don't want my mushrooms to absorb too much balsamic, I'm doing a mushroom topping with the shallots and then sauteing shallots separately in the glaze to pour over the top of the meat. Okay, I just added 1 cup of balsamic to the pan that had the pork drippings in it. I removed some of the excess oil. There's some shallots in there as well. The heat is on medium-low. I'm going to cook that down for a few minutes till it gets nice and thick. Alright, that balsamic vinegar has reduced by at least 1/4, getting it thickened here. Looks like it's ready to serve up. And that will go over the pork and over the mushrooms. And this is the finished product with the sauteed shallots and mushrooms and the balsamic glaze over the pork.